Settling a personal score. Cesar Chavez standing up for farm workers. Thesis statement. To Cesar Chavez's efforts, the United Farm Workers Union was created. He gained countless rights and helped improve living and working conditions for farm workers.
Cesar Chavez with Dolores Huerta helped create the first stable farm workers union. What inspired him to do this? He once said, "There are vivid memories, what we had to go through because of low wages and the conditions." Basically, because we had no union. I suppose, if I wanted to be frank, I could say I'm trying to sell a personal score. I could dramatize it by saying I want to bring social justice to farm workers. You can trace this back to his childhood. He was born in Yuma, Arizona in 1927. He lived on a 100-acre farm. In 1936, the Wagner Act, so nicknamed for a New York senator that supported it, helped employees gain the right to join a union or strike and bargain collectively without being fired. This was great, except farm workers weren't included in this act. Growers controlled farm workers as a result and made them work long hours and gave them pitiful lodging places. In 1938, Cesar's family had to move to California along with 300,000 other people because of the Great Depression and became farm workers. In Cesar's family's case, they moved because of dishonesty with their neighbor. In 1942, Cesar Chavez quit school after 8th grade to work as a farm worker. Also in 1942, the Bracero program was started to bring Mexicans into America to work as farm workers. In 1944, Cesar refused to sit in the Mexican section of a movie theater because he was challenging discrimination and was in custody for an hour. In 1946, he joined the Navy, where he was stationed in the Pacific. He called it the 2 worst years of my life. In 1948, he returned to California and married Helen Fabella. They would go on to have 8 children together. He worked in a lumbering yard. In 1952, while working as a farm worker, he met Fred Ross. Ross founded the Community Service Organization, which helped Mexican Americans in California. During the 50s, he also met Donald McDowell, a priest from San Jose who introduced Cesar to the reigns of St. Francis of Assisi and Mahatma Gandhi, which he later put into action with his nonviolent negotiating tactics. He joined his organization in 1958. He rose to executive director and moved the CSO's headquarters to Los Angeles. He left the organization in 1962 and co-founded the National Farm Workers Association along with Dolores Huerta, another Fred Ross mentee. He spent his time recruiting farm workers, trying to get them to come to union meetings. He first gained national attention for his cause in 1965 when he led a grape strike in the Delano Valley. The grape strike was with the intent that Americans would not buy grapes so that the growers would be forced to negotiate with the union. It was known as La Causa. He led a march from Delano to Sacramento. He hunger fasted for 25 days in 1968. During the grape strike, Senator Robert Kennedy, the brother of the President John F. Kennedy, supported the grape strike. This helped the union gain positive publicity and get national attention to illegal ways law enforcement and growers were harassing the farm workers. During the strike, there remained mass arrests and even shootings of UFW supporters at protests. Here's a clip of Cesar talking about the unfair treatment.
All of the farm workers on strike here in Delano are appalled at the shooting of Marcelino Barajas and Paul Salgado. We've known now for over 10 years that the strike breakers and the growers are armed. We communicated this to Sheriff Wiley. There's been now, this is the 8th incident where we have had shootings at us. Last week, 5 days ago, another striker was wounded when a strike breaker or a grower, we don't know who, from inside the fields, fired through the rear window of the car and injured him in the back. We charge that the arming of the strike breakers and the growers is with the consent and with the knowledge and with the encouragement of Sheriff Wiley. They have known that the men are armed inside the fields and they have done absolutely nothing to try to correct the situation and take the guns and the rifles away from them.
The strike ended in 1970. By then, 17 million Americans were supporting the boycott. Also, 26 growers in the Delano Valley recognized the UFW as an official union. In 1974, he signed a contract with 95% of the grape growers in Delano Valley. His boycott and strike techniques worked well. In 1975, the California Labor Relations Act was passed. It was the first law to protect the rights of organizations of farm workers. In the late 70s and early 80s, he spent most of his time fighting the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, a rival union who signed contracts with 26 growers. The resulting violence was terrifying, resulting in the death of multiple farm workers. Cesar also spent much of the 80s fighting for the ban of 5 pesticides, which had caused everything from cancer in infants to loss of hands in farm workers. In one farming community, the average rate of cancer was 1,200% more than the average U.S. town. He was successful in banning DDT, dieldrin, and aldrin. Still, 12 million pounds of pesticides were used on grapes in California. The 80s were also a time of recession for his union. Despite his marginal gains in rights and contracts for farm workers, he failed to unionize more than 20% of California's farm workers. In 1987, the UFW released a film called The Wrap of Grapes that showed the dangers of using pesticides.
In 1985, Governor Deukmejian vetoed a bill requiring posted signs warning farm workers when a field is sprayed with dangerous pesticides. He said California's $14 billion a year agribusiness couldn't afford the signs. Every year, more than 300,000 farm workers are poisoned in the United States. Farm workers have the highest incidence of job-related illness in California. Grapes are the most dangerous crop. Pesticides cling to leaves and are absorbed through the skin. 8 million pounds of pesticides are used annually on grapes, even though they can be grown commercially without these dangerous chemicals. 1/3 of the pesticides used on grapes are known to cause cancer. Some are so toxic that they affect workers entering fields weeks after spraying.
In a last stand for his cause, he went on his longest and most life-threatening hunger strike in 1988. He died peacefully in his sleep in 1993, 25 miles south of his birthplace. He died defending farm workers against a lawsuit by Bruce Church Incorporated, a grower in California and Arizona, which ironically owned the same land he was born on. He never earned more than $5,000 a year in his life.
His wife was a recipient of his posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1994. He got his own stamp in 2000 and a state holiday in California and Arizona. After his leadership was gone, the union that he helped create after 2012 only has 2% of all California farm workers. Dolores Huerta continues to be a women's rights activist. Cesar Chavez is still remembered in California through murals of people's memories themselves. In 2014, a movie came out about the life and times of Cesar Chavez. The UFW and the Cesar Chavez changed farm workers' rights in hope that 1.5 million members of the United States will be recognized as equal workers.